What does it mean to be successful? I guess everybody's got their own definition, but what I personally find fascinating about us, about humankind, is our ability to present our pathologies in such a way that they appear as a big success. It never ceases to amaze me. If we cannot overcome something, we are able to manipulate others and persuade ourselves that that's the way it should be. Quite recently, I watched a documentary on YouTube about pickup artists who trained other men in the art of seduction. And what was really sad about it was that most of these, practically all of these coaches would benefit from good therapy. In each case, there was a story of how a woman broke his heart, how he swore to himself that he would never ever allow anybody to treat him this way again, and how he started training other men in the art of emotional freedom. It sounded so serious, as if he were training people in some passive income scheme. But what this guy was doing in practice was disconnecting from himself, living a life out of revenge, and inviting lots of young, insecure men to follow suit and ruin their chances of ever having a healthy relationship. The paradox here is that this guy presented himself as cool and in control, but the life story that he shared and the emotional validation he said he needed from women actually proved otherwise. It proved him powerless. We don't put up a high wall around ourselves unless we feel really afraid. We don't guard ourselves too much from other people, as if being hurt by them could kill us. When we are not afraid that we'll die when somebody hurts us, that's when we can really start living. This Sunday we're meditating John 12 verses 20 to 30. Now there were some Greeks among those who went up to worship at the festival. They came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee, with a request. "Sir," they said, "we would like to see Jesus." Philip went to tell Andrew. Andrew and Philip in turn told Jesus. Jesus replied, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Very truly I tell you, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. Anyone who loves their life will lose it, while anyone who hates their life in this world will keep it for eternal life. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, my servant also will be. My Father will honor the one who serves me. Now my soul is troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it was for this very reason I came to this hour. Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came from heaven, "I have glorified it and will glorify it again." The crowd that was there and heard it said it had thundered. Others said an angel had spoken to him. Jesus said, "This voice was for your benefit, not mine." When I was a little girl, I was afraid of this fragment and I didn't understand it. Because why would God ask me to hate this life if he had given it to me? Luckily, now that I'm a bigger girl, I understand it in a different way. Because death will come to all of us, no matter how much we fight it, and we do fight it. We fight the aging process, we fight illnesses, we try not to think about it, we try to delay it as much as we can. But the paradox is that the more we cling to life, the more we try to protect ourselves, the more we miss out on the essence of life. If you decide to jump from a bridge, which by the way I don't recommend unless you do it for recreational purposes only, you cannot jump and observe yourself at the same time. You either jump and let yourself be carried away, or you stay on the bridge and you observe other people do it, but you cannot do both at the same time. In a similar way, you cannot trust somebody and control them at the same time. It just doesn't work that way. You either risk it or not. So if you decide to open yourself up to love, you may be sure that some things in you will die. But on the other hand, other things will start to live. Perhaps the image you had of yourself, your self-image will die. Perhaps the way you viewed the world and other people will die. Perhaps the beliefs you had about how other people should behave, what they should do, what they shouldn't do, perhaps that will die. But in the end, you will find life in this death. You'll find growth in it. On the other hand, protecting yourself at all costs seems reasonable, but in the end, it brings death. To quote C.S. Lewis, let me quote him, "To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything and your heart will be wrung and possibly broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give it to no one, not even an animal. Wrap it carefully round with hobbies and little luxuries. Avoid all entanglements. Lock it up safe in a casket or coffin of your selfishness. But in that casket, safe, dark, motionless, airless, it will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable, impenetrable, irredeemable. To love is to be vulnerable." I just had another thought of another quote from Marianne Dashwood from Sense and Sensibility, who said, "To die for love? What could be more glorious?" And even though I think she meant something else, I think there's great wisdom in this quote. Because after all, if we are all going to die, why not die for love? If you'd like to explore it a bit more, join us tomorrow, Sunday, 10 p.m. Central European Time. We'll be meditating on life, love, and death. Bye-bye.